welcome to the EFL Show Leagues 1 and 2 review. I'm joined by RJ and Stephen. Neither of them are particularly fans, but they do know a little bit of stuff. And we've got me, your Argyle fan. We had a boring game this week. We had a 0-0, a clean sheet, and our keeper is in team of the week. But before we get into all of that, make sure you smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel with notifications on and follow everyone you see here. Get your comments in because we want to interact with you throughout the show. Charlie saying, can I come on, as I did save the show. Charlie was a legend and did help as well. And Chris saying, hi lads, hope you're well. If we do open phone lines at the end, we will make sure that we are sorted. And yeah, so we're going to start with 1 minute. I'm just going to send a link to my co-host. 1 minute, guys.
No problem.
1 moment. This isn't great, but it's okay because there's been a lot of interesting games this weekend. We've had a lot of goals in leagues 1 and 2 this weekend, lots and lots of goals, and we'll get into all of them now. Charlie, who is my normal co-host, as well, so that helps a lot as well. So we're going to have a panel of 4 of us, which is going to be great. But we'll leave the Gillingham Bristol Rovers one for Charlie to do when he gets here. So we're going to start with Barton versus Sunderland. It finished 3-0 to Sunderland. Sunderland have been in fantastic form recently. Barton, bottom of the league, but they've been picking up some form as well. They couldn't quite get it past Sunderland, though, conceding 3 goals. Top goal scorer of League 1 also is Sunderland's Wyke. He got another goal today as well, on Saturday as well. The goals coming from Ledbetter, Gooch, and Wyke. It was quite a dominant performance from Sunderland. They had about 65% of the ball. They had 17 shots compared to Burton's 15. So in terms of shots, Barton all for it. But they couldn't quite get the goals. They only had 3 shots on target compared to Sunderland's 6. Anything you got to say on that, boys? Obviously, Sunderland, former Premier League team, that have sort of fallen on hard times. Obviously, that double relegation that we saw, but they're getting there.
Yeah, I remember when they got relegated and then got relegated again to the League One, and I remember a number of managers coming out and saying there was a specific problem at Sunderland. They're not quite sure what, but there's just something about it that was not making them tick. But I look at what I've seen of League One. Obviously, I've not seen a lot, but but what I've seen is that they're in a shout for a playoff place in the for the Championship, and like you said, they're in fantastic form, and they need to keep that run going if they are to stake that claim in the playoffs. So I think if we're looking at a table, if they're 47 points, 55 of Peterborough, so they might not get automatic promotion, but definitely will get playoffs.
Yeah, I mean they've had some iffy results. My boys went to Sunderland. We hadn't won away, and then Sunderland gifted us 3 points, which was really nice. But Chris saying, haven't Sunderland already recently got taken over? Yes, they have. There's been so much going on in the EFL. We haven't really covered that too much, but it is by a Russian billionaire who is 23 years old. So you know exactly the sort of owner you would expect for a football team. Especially I mean, he's a Russian billionaire, so it's probably going to be a similar to
Chelsea.
To Chelsea probably, but no, they have recently been taken over. Obviously, it was a local owner at Sunderland that was there before. If you've watched Sunderland Till I Die on Netflix, I think it's on Netflix, you'd have seen all of the stuff going on with the new owner and all of that. There was a little bit of tension between the fans and the owners, but it's all getting sort of resolved now. But yeah, obviously Sunderland winning 3-0. Now we'll talk about Argyle quickly. We'll talk about my boys because that one was a fairly quiet, simple game. Um, we've got Charlie here now as well. We'll cover Rovers straight after this because there's been breaking news in Rovers, but we'll get to that after we've done all the games. But Argyle, we've had a really good start to 2021. Obviously, not the whole season. We've had a bit of a bad patch at the end of last year. This year, we've really started performing, especially away from home, which it's been quite disappointing before. But we've started picking up the results. It was 0-0, right, against Rochdale. It's a long old journey, Rochdale, for us little plicky Plymouth Argyle. But we go away with a point and we can't complain. But the bit I do complain about, and I absolutely will slam someone for it, we had 61% of the possession, right? When you have 61% of the possession, when you play the attacking football we've got, when you've got the likes of Luke Jepcott, Niall Ennis, Ryan Hardy, you do expect goals, and not to get a goal is disappointing. But the pleasing thing for me is our defence, the worst defence I've seen probably, actually kept a clean sheet. So it was actually remarkable. Mike Cooper, big up to him, keeping his clean sheet. Because you know what? I really rate him as a keeper. Unfortunately, the defenders in front of him and let him down sort of in time. But he's really performing well and delighted to have him. Obviously, we had Alex Palmer last year, and to sort of replace Alex Palmer, someone who did really well for Argyle in League Two, was always going to be difficult. But we have faith in Mike Cooper, and he's a youngster come through our youth academy, which just makes it even better to watch him. And Luke Jepcott, it's brilliant to watch these players grow. And if you are a Championship or Premier League side, go away because we don't want your money. You lot have blood money, and we don't deal with blood money. So that's that. Charlie, Bristol Rovers, you had a difficult away trip. Obviously, there's been a few things going on at yours, but we'll cover that after. But about the match, obviously, Gillingham 2-0 winners. Fair result?
Well, probably in the end, obviously, yeah. I think first half we done really well after the first 10 minutes because obviously just kept launching it in the box, but after we played well, just to take chances, and then two defensive mistakes and cost us the game. So yeah, just a game of missed chances for us.
Yeah. You had a good result against Pompey though. Obviously it was midweek, so obviously we didn't cover it. But about that game, obviously Paul Tisdale has finally been sacked. We all know his sort of the person who's going to take charge, and we'll get into that one in a bit because oh my god, the West Country is about to erupt into something. Although FYI, if you get into a fight with our boss will absolutely do him in. That's a promise against Ryan Lewin. He's a scout. So we know that if there's a fight between them two, it will certainly be good. We are looking forward to that though. But about Pompey, they're a good team. Obviously, they're high up in the table, but to demolish them the way you did, it was quite shocking from me seeing it anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I think most people was probably shocked. He started the game was just above the relegation zone, and they were fourth at the time. And I seen a lot of Pompey fans were saying, 3-4. But yeah, obviously we went 1-0 down as well, which is the other crazy thing. And we come back in it and played really well. With our performance of the season,
Yeah, you keep cutting in and out. I don't know if you're using Bluetooth headphones, but I know sometimes they're a bit dodgy. So I don't know if you want to just use without the Bluetooth or something because you keep cutting in and out a little bit. So we missed like half of that.
Yeah,
but no, I do agree with the fans. They can get a bit costly, and I like it when they put that in their face. Not mainly because we've dealt with them in League Two many of the times, and they're passionate fans. Don't get me wrong, but they can be hell of annoying. Obviously, Charlie's a Bristol Rovers fan, so we don't really need to go into Bristol Rovers too much because he's here. But I do want to go to a 6-goal thriller. Now, that 6-goal thriller was Doncaster versus Hull, both of which are doing very well in League One. 3-3. But the interesting bit about this, and Hull, they were doing so well, and they've sort of messed it up a little bit in recent weeks. Coppinger, in the 102nd minute of the game, there was a good 12 minutes added time. I don't know why. I didn't look that much into it, to be honest. But he scores in the 102nd minute. It's the same Coppinger that I think has played 17 years at Doncaster. Something ridiculous like that. He's been there for years. But 3-3 against Hull. Yeah, it's not every time you see a sort of goal in the 102nd minute, is it?
No.
But I think Doncaster. Yeah, go on, Stephen.
So I was going to say it's a bit surprising, probably from Hull's point of view, because I think the game before during the midweek they slaughtered Wigan 5-0. In the league, so it was a bit surprising how they would being so far up the table as well. I think they're about third on this. So third, and they're chasing automatic promotion. So you would expect them to be able to at least hang on to try and get that win. So
but Doncaster, we also must say, are doing very well in League One as well. Their playoffs and they're very difficult to beat. We got promoted with them the first time we got promoted to League One. Then we came crashing back down. But I blame a certain manager for that. It's okay. I've blamed him before.
Do you want Arteta?
But no, we don't want Arteta. We have a very good manager. We love our manager a lot. We do. He's brilliant. But as I said, I wasn't joking when I said that there was a lot of goals in Leagues 1 and 2, because the next game we're going to cover is MK Dons 4, Northampton Town 3. Now, 4-3, this one, MK Dons, if I remember correctly, are mid-table. Northampton fighting for their lives. They're going to fight their way out of this, I think. Will they make it? I don't know.
You, MK Dons.
Yeah, that's why I said mid-table, because we're mid-table as well. There's some Argyle fans are saying, "Oh, we could get playoffs." Get that out of your head right now. We're not reaching playoffs. Do not start talking like that. First season in League One. Don't be deluded. We're not making playoffs. That wasn't even the target at the start of the season. And if it was, then I'm not sure what you've been smoking. But MK Dons obviously winning 4-3. But Northampton down the bottom to get 3 goals. That defense must be absolutely horrific if you're gonna concede 4 goals, because mind you, MK Dons had 59% of the possession, but Northampton had 19 shots compared to MK Dons 12. And for me, if you're not going to shut the back door a little bit, you're always going to face these issues. And I think the annoying thing for Northampton will be that they conceded 4 goals and scored 3. Especially when you're fighting for relegation.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
So that's that one. I said to these boys, they don't know everything, so they go jump in when
what I would
content.
only say is that I think if you're looking at it, say, when you've got a team that's, say, for example, like if you, because we all follow the Premier League, obviously. If you look at a team like Sheffield United, and if you get a new manager or something in there, first thing you want to install is making sure you don't concede goals. Like, it's like what West Brom tried to do with trying to bring Sam Allardyce in. Just stop conceding goals, so you know you're not going to score that many in the other end. So when you do score 3, that way you should have a defence good enough to hold on.
Yeah, I mean, Northampton, credit to them, they beat Exeter in the playoff final last season. It was a great game to watch. I loved every minute of it. They're sort of struggling. Crewe aren't struggling, but Swindon, bottom. They're not doing too good either, and their fans are a bit rude as well. But we'll move on to Peterborough now. Peterborough are fighting near the top of the table. They're looking like they're going to fight for promotion right until the end. It was a close-ish game in terms of possession stats, anyway. But their shots, they had double the amount AFC Wimbledon had on target. They had 5 more shots with 15-10. And Peterborough at home winning 3-0. It was an interesting game, but I think a fair result in terms of everything because Peterborough are just a really good team. I think we're playing them on Tuesday, so I know it should be a great game.
Good
I'm
luck.
looking forward. Yeah, I'm wishing my boys luck as well, but that's not always going to happen. But no, 3-0. It was a fair result in my opinion. I don't think that they deserve to get much more out of this. But before we do any more, make sure you smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel with notifications on. We're just going to go through some comments. Chris saying that's what players do. They perform all of a sudden when a manager is sacked.
Don't mind if I put my donation link in, do you?
But the difference is the caretaker manager for Bristol Rovers is their director of football. So it's not like he's completely unknown to the club. He's on the board. He knows what he's doing.
You don't mind if I put the donation link, do you?
Yeah, I'll do that in a moment.
Alright, cool.
We'll do that. We'll do that at the end.
Right. Whenever you.
Yeah, that's cool, bro. But yeah, obviously, he is the director of football, if I remember correctly. So he's not completely unknown. Chris also saying a point away from home is good for any EFL club. This is true, but I just have really high expectations. Well, it depends. If I'm using my head, a point away is brilliant, but I'm a Plymouth Argyle fan and we should win every game. That's the way we look at it. That's just it's just the way it is. If you use your brain, you can't win every game, but your heart tells you have to win every game because every game is a winnable game, in my opinion. They're just having some chats down there.
Tells me that sounds like a closet Man City fan rather than Man U fan.
What, me?
Yeah, thinking you can win every game.
Oh no, you should see me when we're in League 2. Then there is an expectation to win every game. Benji saying yo, and then Chris saying unless it's a team you should be beating, and that is true. If we're playing like Barton Albion, I expect to win, and if we don't, Ryan Lowe better have a good explanation, which he doesn't always have. I will give him that. But we'll move on to Portsmouth now. Kenny Jackett, the Portsmouth manager, isn't in the dugout or training at the moment. He's had to go off for a medical procedure, so he's going to be away for a short period of time. We covered that last week. This was their first game because Kenny was at the Bristol Rovers game, so he got a great send-off for his medical help, being smashed by Bristol Rovers. But this is the first game that they weren't around, or he wasn't around, and Blackpool at home at Fratton Park beat them 1-0 in the 82nd minute. Yates with the goal that gives Blackpool the win. This is going to be an interesting one. Portsmouth didn't register one shot on target all game. Not one. How you expect to win a game when you're not even going to attempt to get a goal on target? That is beyond me, really.
Do you know what I was saying that this morning about a different club?
Hey, the only bits we talk about the Premier League is for their youth. But RJ, if you're not going to get a goal or a shot on target, your expectations of winning the game suddenly drop, don't they?
Of course. I mean, the only way to score is actually have a chance on target, and I mean, if you don't have any, that's out of the question if you want to get a goal. So yeah.
A bad week for them. The other two games in League 2 that weekend, the weekend just gone, it finished Swindon 2, Crew 1. The battle of the boys that came up with Argyle last year on automatics. Swindon are near the relegation zone, but they've had a couple of good. Well, this is a good win for them. And then Wigan, who are really struggling at the moment, finished 2-1 to Lincoln City, who I think are near the top. If not, they are top. The games in League 2 before we get on to Loan Watch, which actually works in with the comment from Indiana, who are the young players we should be looking out for in the leagues. We'll get to that At Plymouth, you got. I can really talk for Plymouth. Luke Jepcott, Michael Cooper. They're the good ones. You should definitely take a look at. I'm not sure about the rest. I will look into that a lot more. But we have got Loan Watch coming, which is all the loans from the Premier League that are currently in the EFL. A few dodgy performances, but then a few very good performances. There's a lot to talk about there. A lot of good stats that RJ and Stephen can discuss with me. But quickly, we'll go on to League Two. Former Argyle manager Derek Adams, the guy who got us relegated, so I hate him with a passion. He beat Barrow 2-1. Morecambe are pushing for playoffs, and our former right back Kelvin Mellor getting the winner for Morecambe then. So good result for them. Cheltenham lost 2-0 to Bradford. Former Argyle player Niall Canavan joined Bradford in January, so clearly he's having a good time there. Mansfield lost 3-0 to top of the table. If they are not top, they're at least second, I know that much, to Cambridge Town. And the other games that we will cover as well. So we had Scunthorpe 3, Harrogate 1. So that wasn't a bad game from Scunthorpe. Don't like them either because they were very dirty when on the day we got relegated. Our keeper throws the ball out because he's injured, and then they try and score a goal because they kept the ball in and scored it over our injured keeper. So until then, enjoy League Two, you dirty. That's my comment to you. Now we have got some Oldham. Well, we've got an Oldham and a Carlisle fan, so we will cover your matches fully, because obviously big support to the show. Now Salford, they haven't lost, I think, away. Well, they haven't lost at home either this calendar year, or it was this whole season. One or two. Maybe Chris, you can let us know, because I know Chris knew about it. But Salford, they're unbeaten in something at home. I do know that much. It's either calendar year or whole season. That finished 1-1, and RJ, a former, I was about to say Argyle player then, a former United player, James Wilson, getting the equaliser in the 79th minute. He's been around the block a bit now, James Wilson.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've heard the name. Obviously, he is a former United striker. Obviously, he's now dropped to League Two, and hopefully he does get a few more good performances. He's got 7 goals in the EFL and out of 18 games, and 1 assist as well. So he's doing all right. I think he obviously does need to keep his head up, and just keep scoring goals.
Yeah, 100%, and it's unbeaten at home this season. So quite a record at Salford. Obviously, Salford owned by the class of '92, which I have no words for that. And they also have, like, I think, an Asian investor or something like that. It's okay. Salford are pretty much the Man City of the EFL. It's just a shame they haven't actually solved their issues yet because they haven't got out of League Two. But they had 67% of possession. They had 12 shots compared to Carlisle's 7. They had 4 on target compared to Carlisle's 2. So a dominant performance from Salford. So I think Carlisle can be very happy with the win there. Indiana has.
The boss is in.
Yeah, the boss jumped into the stream. I'm not sure what happened there. Right, but yeah, Salford, obviously a dominant performance from Salford. So not a lot can be said there. Carlisle, a good point against a very difficult Salford City, to be honest. Now the other game was a 2-2 cracker, and not Charlie, was it Charlie? Someone put in what happened. Here it is.
Yeah.
Tranmere 2, Oldham Athletic 2.
What's that?
Oldham Bahamula. I think that's how you say it. Don't quote me on that. I think that's how you say it.
Like that.
Yeah. So 2-2 boys. it was an interesting game, to be fair. 1 minute. Right, so we got that sorted. Sorry, just had to deal with something there. So yeah, it finished Tranmere 2, Oldham Athletic 2. Dylan Bahamula. I think that's how you say it. Don't quote me on that. My pronunciation, how I say them sometimes, that's the word, isn't always the best, especially when it's footballers I don't completely know.
Always trying to talk for an hour and talk and waffle.
Yeah, or that as well. But it finished 2-2. An equaliser, as Charlie put there, a screamer. I didn't see a strike, but also there was a red card for one of them. Who was it? A red card for Oldham. So Oldham had a player sent off, John Batty, who was sent off. I think it was at half time or just into the second half. It looks like a straight. Oh no, it was a second yellow. A second yellow. I mean, not the ideal way to start a league, a sort of half there. But we do have Charlie, who is a City, not a City. Well, he is a City fan, but he's also an Oldham fan. Yeah, Oldham's your local. That's the one. Yeah. What did you make of the game? Obviously, Dylan Bahabula. Is that how you say it? Bahambula. I was nearly right. You said it was a screamer.
Yeah, about 25 yards out, curled right into the top corner of the post, and I'd call it a scream.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that does sound like a screamer, to be completely honest with you. But are you disappointed? Obviously, you had a player sent off in the 47th minute as well. Obviously, getting a point is good, but do you feel that if you hadn't had that player sent off, you could have got maybe all 3 points, or was a draw fair?
Possibly. It was easily possible, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they did. Sorry, I was just looking at where the goals came from or what times is it. It looked like that they had a player sent off, then they managed to be able to get. Then they conceded the second, and then to be able to keep going and be able to get an equaliser shows that it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, Oldham are in that position this season where I think it's going to be mid-table, but they haven't. There's no chance Oldham Athletic are getting relegated, and I don't know if there's a chance they're going to get promoted either. So it's sort of that. It's sort of that season where you're like, it'll be what will be really for Oldham there.
It is what it is.
That's the one. Chris saying disappointed Carlisle didn't hold on, but I would have took a point before the game. Could well be crucial point for Carlisle at the end of the season. Could get us promoted. Hopefully Carlisle still got a lot of games in hand, still in Carlisle's hands to move into the automatic promotion places. That is true. That is without a shadow of a doubt true. Yeah. They've got a ridiculous amount of games. They've got like 3 or 4 games in hand over absolutely everyone.
Because they've got all the COVID and then the start. Of course, obviously you got weather usually plays a part as well.
Yeah, so, you don't want to see the state of some of these pitches down in leagues too.
Oh, did you see the Newport pitch? I saw it on
the Newport pitch is always disgustingly crap.
It looks like a sandpit, honestly.
That doesn't surprise me. They share it with a rugby team as well. And that's why the Newport County ground is always absolutely horrific.
By the way, Oldham are 9 points off playoffs.
Yeah, it is possible, but it's going to take a lot of effort. In Indiana saying, Stephen, is your mic plugged in?
My mic plugged in?
Yeah. I can hear you. Yeah. Chris saying, good point for Oldham, in my opinion, was always going to be tough away to Tranmere. We're fighting for promotion. But who knows, Oldham could have won if not red card, all ifs and buts. Maybe. Yeah, that's all
Yeah,
good,
we
mate.
hear with you. Yeah.
So,
There's a bit of a I wouldn't say it's like a massive rivalry, but there's a bit of a rivalry between Tranmere and Oldham as well. Every time
oh,
Tranmere come to Oldham, there's spicy. I'd say that.
Sounds airy.
yeah.
I can
I'm
hear
not sure.
something like that, but I don't know.
I'm not sure how you fix an airy mic. I use my tablet, and my lovely voice comes through that. But basically, we've covered all the games there, so we're going to go on to Loan Watch. Now, this is the bit where we look for all the players that are on loan at these EFL clubs. I think I can't remember if Oldham or anyone's got any. Oldham's got Harry Clark. That sounds very airy now. I can hear a Hoover.
It's always me.
So someone's hoovering. Oldham have got a player, but Charlie, are you an Oldham fan?
I wouldn't say I'm an Oldham fan, but Oldham are my local team, and I watch them
Right.
whenever I can.
Yeah. Well, you've got a player on loan that we're going to get to in a bit as well.
Harry
Who will
Clark.
start? Yeah, that's the one. And Stephen will be very interested to know, considering he is an Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
Oh, a good question from Indiana. Who's got the worst pitch in
Newport.
League One and in League Two? Well, in League One, the worst pitch at the moment, I would say, is actually Sunderland's. It is absolutely trash. There was a lot of heavy rain, but my God, it looked like a farmyard pit. The best pitch, and this isn't because I'm being biased, right? I'm not being biased. It is actually Plymouth Argyle, right? Home Park is beautiful at the moment. Trust me, if you don't believe me, go check out our Twitter page. The pitch, even after all the heavy rain, still looking beautiful. And in League Two, yeah, rightly so. Newport Counties is absolutely horrific, which is
Well,
exactly
it's not surprising if he's getting churned up by a rugby team.
Yeah. Charlie, who do you think's got the best pitch in League Two?
Oldham are up there, but I won't say they're the best.
Yeah.
Maybe Salford, because they've got the money.
Yeah, Salford's probably got a good pitch. To be fair, that's the 92 blood money. I'm joking.
I hate Salford because of the obvious link to United.
I didn't think there was a link apart from the class of 92, which is a fairly big link. But we're going to start Loan Watch with Ryan Longman. Plays for Wimbledon, AFC Wimbledon. Don't want to upset any MK Dons fans or any Wimbledon fans, so we stay impartial here. But he's on loan from Brighton. I haven't written down what positions they play, so this is really going to help the situation. But Ryan Longman, he played 90 minutes. He had a 71% pass accuracy. He had 2 shots on target and 1 dribble made, so I'm guessing he's a winger. But no, that's not bad. The pass accuracy is always the one I look for, because if your pass accuracy is low, you're just going to be giving the ball away all the time. But 71%, RJ, that's not a bad percentage, is it?
No, it's definitely quite high for specifically a player coming out on loan from Brighton. Yeah, so definitely some good things from so far, especially from that rating.
Would you say that's better than Fred's passing accuracy from yesterday?
I mean, yeah, sure, why not? Let's go with this.
Man couldn't string a pass along at all. So Ryan Longman doing it a little bit better there. Chris saying, can I say Carlisle got best pitch now? Joking.
1 minute,
Salford. Yeah, Salford is probably they've got the money. The next one we're going to talk about, there's 3 on loan at Charlton. You got Ian Matson from Chelsea. They're all from Chelsea. Or are they? They might be. I've written it down. I may have written it down wrong, actually. I don't actually think they are all from Chelsea. I think I did this whilst all very tired yesterday, so do forgive me for that one. I'm just going to get the things
right, I'm back.
Cool. We're just talking loanies. I need to get the Charlton lot up wherever they are. I did this whilst very tired yesterday, so I do apologise because I can't believe they are all from Chelsea. I find that very difficult to hard to believe. I think
That's
you're
what
only allowed.
Chelsea do.
Well, I know all their
Long
players are
one.
on
They're
loan.
gonna they build them up and then at a certain age sell them on.
Sell them on, don't they?
You know, I know they do that, but I don't think you can have 3 on loan at one team, can you? There's the game.
On one team.
Yeah, I don't think you can.
There's no law against it, is it?
I think there's a rule on Football Manager, so there must be a rule in real life.
There is, because they're not all from Chelsea. I don't know why. I was tired when doing this last night.
And he's alright. He was sitting there like that on EFL, watching EFL highlights.
Mate, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. Right, so
Yeah,
we'll start with Ian Matson. Now, I know he is from Chelsea, right? I know that for a fact.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, he is. He is from
Fullback.
Chelsea.
He's a fullback.
In fact, I have a book here with the loans in. I'll just get the Charlton lot up now. Where's Charlton? There you are. I've sorted it.
I know he's played for the Dutch under-21s a couple of times, that Matson.
Has he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad.
It might be the under-21s or the under-18s for Netherlands.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's impressive. If you're doing that, then you've definitely got something. But he played 60 minutes with a 63% passing accuracy, 1 tackle, 2 interceptions. Pretty standard game, in my opinion, for Ian Matson.
Yeah, definitely.
Stephen, anything to comment on one of your rivals' loanies?
Not too much to say. I mean, I think with Chelsea, they were quite. They're well managed in how they deal with their youth. To get out on loan, give them game time, let them build up the experience, and then when they're at the right age, we know Chelsea don't rely on their youth system. So very rarely.
Apart from last season, really.
Well, yeah, apart from last season because of the transfer ban, and obviously that means they've had to keep coming up to the door and Mount, for example. But like most of the time, they would buy high and sell high in their youth. So
that's where Chelsea have the record for
I know.
Player who's been loaned out the most time.
They have 3 loanees in League One.
Yeah, but I would definitely say unless one of them is really like standing out.
4 in total if you class League Two. Chelsea do have
one in total. If there's one that's really starting, they will all probably go run up and then been sold on.
Yeah. The next one we'll go to is Liam Miller. Now he's on loan from Liverpool.
He's at Charlton, isn't he?
Yeah, Charlton. We're going through them team by team. So the next 2 is from Charlton. Next we're going to Matt Smith, who was actually from Arsenal. So I apologise. That one is yours. He's not from Chelsea. As I said, did this whilst quite tired. But no,
I'll do Matt Smith one.
Liam Miller, 59% pass accuracy, did 5 dribbles, 1 of them successful. He lost the ball 18 times. That's a pretty bad stat, that is.
That's
18 times.
18?
Yeah, I wouldn't accept. If my boys were doing it more than 5 or 6, I have a problem. So to lose at 18, it's a bad stat. You don't want to be losing the ball that often.
Especially he's an attacking player as well, isn't he? So that's quite high for an attacking player.
And that probably goes to why his stat was 5.8, or his rating anyway. But we won't say too much about him. He had a bit of a bad game. Pass accuracy, not great either. Losing the ball 18 times isn't something you want to be doing either. But next we'll go over to Matt Smith. Now, this one is from Arsenal. On loan at Charlton. Now, he had a fairly good game, sort of. He played 56 minutes, but his pass accuracy was 85%, which isn't bad. That's good for me.
What position does he play?
I think it's central midfield.
Say CDM.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so central midfield.
Yeah.
Or DM. One of the two. But no, he had an average game. But we'll move to Doncaster. Now, Doncaster, they have a lad called Matt Smith.
Well, hang on. So can I just say, sorry, can I just say Matt Smith, he's got, what, 85%?
85% passing accuracy, yeah.
Replacing for Nenny.
Replacing for Nenny.
I'm being serious.
He's playing for a good
Give him a
team,
shout.
so maybe,
I mean,
maybe,
what
maybe
else would he do?
Whereabouts are Charlton in the League One table? They're towards the top.
yeah, they're top half. Yeah, we'll go through the tables at the end because we've got. I've added a few things to make it look even better this week. So we've got a few stats things that we'll add in as well at the end. That I promise you, I have not stolen from Leagues 1 or 2's Twitter.
That means
It means I absolutely have. But it's okay. Support your EFL. But Matt Smith from obviously Manchester City is at Doncaster. Now he played 86 minutes. Now he's, I think, a centre back, and his stats are
I
very
think he's a centre back who can play holding midfield as well.
He did a good job. He had 78% passing accuracy, made one key pass, one tackle, two clearances, three interceptions. It's not bad for a centre back. He was active. That's to say at least. But obviously they did concede 3 goals. But how much of that you can truly blame him, I don't really know much. You can't really completely blame him. But he did lose the ball 14 times. But as a centre back, that can be a bit expected, especially at defence against Hull City. It's okay, RJ. You haven't missed much. We're talking about Arsenal, Chelsea, and Liverpool's loans at the moment. Not
Perfect.
anything that you'll be too
We're
interested in.
seeing if Arsenal can fit any. We're seeing if Arsenal can replace their what they've got.
Well, trust me, Matt Smith in a couple of years' time may be that man. Maybe that lad that can really come in. No, I'm not saying that as a joke. I truly mean it because a lot of these. Well, no, because if he's on loan in League One this year, then next year he'll be a Championship, then potentially a lower league. Give him 2 or 3 years, and he may start in an Arsenal. And these young players, they do develop very quickly. You would be
I mean, I've got no problems with Arsenal's the way their system was. It's always been.
I do, because you gave us Matt Macy once, and that was unacceptable. That man single-handedly got us relegated. So we don't want to do business with you anymore on loans. Let's put it as polite. But it's okay. We've got Ryan Lowe's Liverpool fan anyway, so we won't be doing business with that team anyway. But we have got a Liverpool loan, and we'll get onto him in a minute. He played 15 minutes, so it's not an awful lot. But Matt Smith from Doncaster, a very good performance. He did lose the ball 14 times, but as I said, was very active in a big game. But we'll move to Callum Connolly. Now, Callum played 90 minutes. He's on loan at Fleetwood from Everton. He played 90 minutes, 1 clearance, 1 tackle, 63% pass and accuracy, 5 aerial duels, 1. He lost the ball 13 times. Pretty decent. That's pretty decent from a centre back. I think. I think that's good from a centre back, in my opinion.
It depends what everyone want to do.
It was a good performance, and Fleetwood they're doing all right. But we'll move on to Callum Slattery. Slattery is at Gillingham on loan from Southampton. Played 45 minutes. I think he's a striker somewhere around that region. He 73% pass accuracy, 3 long balls, 1 shot off target, 3 aerial duels, 1, 2 ground duels, 1, 2 tackles, 2 clearances. He may be a centre back if I put all of that on. But a good game from him. Very active both ends. Obviously, 13 times lost the ball. Yeah. So 13 times he was caught in possession. So that could be a sloppy pass. That could be him tackled. That's what it means when it is lost the ball. 13 times isn't great, but not too bad, especially for a centre back. Because don't forget, if their Fleetwood play long balls as well, so a lot of them could just be he's kicked it upfield and it's gone to the other centre back of the other team.
It down.
Don't look too much into the possession lost or lost the balls, but he had an active game. It was a fairly good game from him. But obviously, Callum Slattery, very good performance from him as well. As I said, from both ends, I think he may be a centre-back from what I've written down here. If not, he's had a very good midfield display as well. But we'll move on to Troy Parrott now. RJ at one point tried putting this boy in some ungodly tier, which was highly
I
unacceptable.
still can't believe he tried that, honestly.
Yeah, it's okay. None of us can
Come
believe.
on, Jaguar, come on, let it out.
But he didn't have a great game. He didn't have a great game. He played for 90 minutes, 68% pass accuracy, 0 shots on target, 3 shots off target. I don't know if he. Yeah, I don't know if he needs like a diagram of the goal with a diagram on how to get the ball into the net. But clearly a little bit off target there, wasn't it? But RJ, where did you want to put him again in that Premier League?
Yeah, no, it's all going downhill for him, sadly. But I do wish him the best of luck to try and get him back up where he deserves.
He got recalled. It was in the Championship, gets recalled and gets loaned back out to League One.
Sometimes it happens. But he is on loan from Spurs, so maybe he could replace Harry Kane next season. But we'll talk a West Brom loanee now. I know quite a bit about this man because he was on loan at us last season. Alex Palmer on loan from West Brom at Lincoln. Played 90 minutes. He got a yellow card, so I'm guessing he was time wasting. Didn't do that at Argyle because we play football the right way. He made 2 saves, 61% pass accuracy, but I'm guessing Lincoln hoof the ball sometimes as well. And he had 4 successful long balls.
Sorry, how posh he is. Oh yeah, but we don't play like this. Like, no.
We don't play like that. We don't play like that. We are honest footballers. We are honest.
Yeah.
But Alex Palmer, an average game, they would. They don't test us. We would probably do magic against Rob Holding. And you don't want to see the damage that my boys would do to Hector. Mate. Luke Jepcott will make sure that Rob Holding never plays football.
Like, you're going to convince me to be Arteta is the only way. You're
No. Trust me, Luke Jepcott would do unspeakable things to Rob Holding, and I'm not sure Hector Bellerin would cope with Conor Grant. That's not me throwing salt, but them two would absolutely enjoy their time.
That's just the truth.
It is the truth. But we're also, there was another boy on loan at Lincoln. He's called Morgan Rogers. Obviously, he's from Man City.
Oh, he's from City, isn't he? Yeah.
He is from City. You sound so excited about that, knowing that he'll probably never play for Man City. Let's be fair.
I saw him playing the FA Youth Cup final. He played all right.
Yeah, but there's a bit of a jump between the FA Youth Cup final and your first team.
Yeah,
he might get into your B.
No, hang on. They could be the second team.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He'll probably be in that B team, wouldn't he? I know City have like 2
sits on the bench.
Not even that. They have like 2 starting 11s, so it's mad.
Yeah,
credit to him. But he was all right. He lost the ball 10 times. Got no goals, no assists. But yeah.
My God. Oh my God.
Charles Tottenham will have the best striker depth next season. Harry Kane, Carlos Vinicius.
This abuse, honestly.
Charles Tottenham will have the best striker depth next season. Harry Kane, Carlos Vinicius, and Troy Parrott.
If I speak, I will be in big trouble.
And Chris saying yes, Charles is here. Yes, he has made a statement. That is for sure. We'll remember Charles after a stream. We know that much. But no, Morgan Rogers, he'll probably make it into a Man City B team. But RJ, this one might interest you a little bit more. Ethan Lard. He's a right back, if I remember correctly.
He is.
He had 73% pass accuracy, 0 successful crosses, but 2 successful dribbles. So 2 up on Wan-Bissaka.
What was that? 0 success.
Bit harsh.
Yeah, so he didn't make any good. Well, he didn't make a successful cross all game.
Sounds like Wan-Bissaka.
So RJ, what do you know about Ethan?
So what?
What do you know about Ethan then?
Obviously, yes, he's our right back. Obviously, we have a few right backs that we loaned this season. Dalot is one of them. He's playing for AC Milan, doing a very good job. He probably will be either leaving us or he'll probably be our substitute. But I'd probably
He
say
is. They're
Solskjaer
fans
don't
hate
want
him.
him, does he?
I mean,
Their
we'll see how we go. But
their fans hate him and they think he's crap. But
I thought he's all right. But anyway, regardless, Ethan Laird, he's a youngster. He's one of our right backs that we had loaned out. He has played about 8 times, roughly. He's got 1 assist and 2 yellow cards. So obviously,
Has he ever played for the first team at United?
He probably started 1 game, but it probably hasn't crossed my mind. I don't think.
Oh my god!
It's okay. Trust me, Stephen. We'll get into that. I'm looking at him. I'm just saying a couple more.
I'm just seeing this now.
It's okay. It's okay. We'll get into that one in a minute.
If I speak, I will be in big trouble.
This is true.
The accent if you're
Indiana, you tell him.
But we'll move on to Ryan Edmondson because then I'll summarise the Argyle boys quite quickly because they were quite quiet today. They were all centre backs. If you didn't know where our trouble were getting first team players for this season, but no, the next one, Ryan Edmondson on loan from Leeds. He's at Northampton. He hit the woodwork once. Nice 37% pass accuracy, which is absolutely horrific.
What position?
I think he's a winger or striker.
A winger with 37%.
Or a striker. Don't quote me on that. But I know I think he's further up the field. If I'm being fair,
I can accept it if it's a striker, but not a wing.
Yeah, it was pretty horrific. But then I'll cover the one key pass. So he made some interesting things there. But I'll cover the Argyle boys quite quickly. Jerome Opoku on loan from Fulham at Argyle. He made 1 block, 2 interceptions, 1 tackle, 90% pass accuracy. We love to see that. He had a good game. All of the boys at Argyle had a good game, especially the back line.
Did Plymouth win this weekend?
No, we drew 0-0, but that's why our defenders are getting praise.
Yeah.
Keelan Watts on loan from Newcastle.
Let him live.
Keelan Watts on loan from Newcastle. Argyle played 90 minutes, 6 clearances, 1 tackle, 1 block shot, 116 touches, 74% pass accuracy with 12 aerial duels won. That is a very good defensive display. He's starting to really look very good. Newcastle, when you get relegated, he will be in your team next year. And then Adam Lewis on loan from Plymouth Argyle. No, on loan from Liverpool at Argyle, played 15 minutes with 100% pass accuracy. We love to see that as well.
How many passes did he make?
Probably like 3. But it's still 100%. No one else in on loan did that this season, or this one. But we'll get to some of the comments. Indiana, Charles, Spurs are frauds.
Yeah, they are.
I mean,
they just lost to Jesse Lingard. That tells you everything.
No, I'm sorry.
No, don't, Charlie, don't disrespect Jesse Lingard.
They're the top 6 when they're not won a league.
Yeah. Just in case you haven't realised, this is the EFL show. No one needs to talk about Spurs. We're just going through some of these comments because there are some mad ones. Vinicius better than Mbappe. Mbappe can't do it on a cold night versus Marine. True, that's because Mbappe's doing it on a cold night in Barcelona. Chris Welch says, we love Charles. Really great banter as always. Vinicius is the real Mbappe. Mbappe copied Vinicius' celebration. Fact.
Vinicius scores past. Mbappe scores past one of the best keepers in the world to Stegen. Vinicius scores past part-time postmen.
This is true. And Indiana, the FA has offered to stage both League Cup and FA Cup finals as test events for the return of fans. Thoughts? Start with you, Stephen. What's your thoughts on the FA offering stage the League and FA Cup finals as sort of test events?
Well, from someone who's just had his first dose of the vaccine, I like to take things cautiously. right? Because we tried to do this last time and we all ended
failed.
up. It failed. We went back into a lockdown and we went back to another lockdown. Then we had the second variant. So
But we didn't have the vaccine. I just want to
yeah,
say
we
that
didn't have the
didn't have the
vaccine then.
vaccine when
But
we
the thing
tried to
is
do it.
it depends on whether these new variants are going to affect the vaccines anyway. At the moment, they're not, and we're doing the vaccines far better than anyone else in the world.
But what's your thoughts on them offering to stage?
Yeah,
That would mean the league.
if it's
That
on
that
the
would
path,
yeah.
then yeah, I can see that. I can.
I mean, it would mean that the league and FA Cup would probably push back until June or May. One of the
Which usually end of June, May, June
Yeah.
anyway.
end of
So.
May. So
They also announced today the Carabao Cup final will have no fans, so they pushed it back for no reason.
maybe the government.
Back, hopefully that they'll get there, but unfortunately,
No. What I mean is they did push it back, but then I think they're pushing it back again potentially, or the government have declined their invitation. I'm not sure.
No.
RJ, what do you make on the FA offering that?
Yeah, no, I do think obviously you do have to be careful. Obviously, I'm not from England, so I will not be going to any of these games. But no, I do think obviously I think the fans do bring a bit of energy to the stadium itself. Obviously, you do have to be careful. Obviously, the virus is still around, and I don't think anyone wants to go back into a lockdown, especially the English.
Yeah, 100%. And
that comment by Chris is spot on.
Yeah,
this one? Deaths are still happening in this country. It's still not safe to let fans, in my opinion. But for lower league clubs, I understand cause of revenue. And I do want to speak a little bit about the fans. Obviously, we haven't really had any fans in all season. Yes, no one has. But obviously, there is talks at the end of the season. For the last week, Premier League are going to get fans in, 10K. That's really nice. And I am going to sound a bit angry about this because I am. That's really nice for the Premier League, but we finish our season early. We finish our season in April, so we're not going to be allowed to have fans in for our last game of the season.
Unless you get playoffs.
Exactly. Which means I actually feel for all the fans of any EFL club, especially in Leagues 1 and 2.
Do you know what? I just also say about the fans as well is the fact that the money.
Like, and that's the thing.
So like the FA Cup, all the away ties, like the Premier League's had to go to, like Marine, for example.
Yeah.
They ain't getting the funding that they usually get, and this is what winds me up. Right? They worry about the Premier League because the Premier League gets you money, makes you money. Right? They don't care about the Championship or the lower league tables. They just care about they'll make sure the Premier League's all right, but they won't make sure that the clubs like Bury that get liquidated, right, or clubs that are struggling to stay afloat literally are struggling to stay afloat.
The good thing about Bowie, I just want to quickly interject here. Bowie apparently could be returning to the Vanarama Leagues next soon. Apparently, there's potential takeover being done there.
I think they're in step 10 of English football this season.
They're going to be in. I think I'll keep an eye out and we'll update you on all of that. But I just want to say a little bit about Leagues 1 and 2. Our fans are very passionate. We haven't been there all season. But it's really nice that well, we have the best fans in England. But we haven't been there, and it's very difficult for all of us. And it is a huge revenue loss. My team, Plymouth, are looking at a £2 million loss this year. That, for some teams, could kill them. So for me, the Premier League, when we ask you, when we ask you for a £250 million loan or a bailout or whatever, we're not joking. We genuinely need that. And you lot have a lot of money in your league. So I do expect, especially as you can see, we benefit you with your players going on loan to us, giving them that valuable time. The least you can do is treat us with a little bit of dignity.
That's what I've always said. I remember the first time we all had this problem when the first lockdown came out, right? Yeah. And they're all worried about like you got people like Spurs and Liverpool trying to do a furlough, right?
Yeah, it's all just
anyway, right? And they've got the money in those to pay all their staff. They also got the money to come up with a package to go. Here you go. Here's for looking after our youth and giving our youth experience.
It'd
Here's the
probably
money. There you
it'd
go.
probably be out of the big six. It'll probably be about
Because it
30
costs
million
money,
each.
they won't do it.
Yeah, it'll probably cost you all 30 million each. If you're telling me that
Especially
Manchester
with some
United
of the
or
owners in the top six, with
well, there
FSG,
is
the
that as well.
Glazers, Daniel
Yeah.
Levy,
Yeah.
Oh, Cronkies.
Gazidi,
But
Kroenke.
Charlie, you said
That's
you wanted to
right.
make a comment on that as well.
Last week, me and you were talking about FA Cup runs.
Yeah.
Remember? I think this year's the best and the worst year to go on a bit of an FA Cup run. The reason for it being the best is like clubs like Marine have got a couple of million, which will keep them afloat while they've got no fans.
For about 5-6 years, that will not gonna lie.
But
That's gonna keep them afloat quite a while.
But the worst part is they've not been able to take the fans to any of the rounds, which
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
if you think Argyle, we
None
picked
of their
out
fans could watch it.
yeah.
Oh.
Well, we picked out Sheffield United away, so that would have been a great away trip for us. We also had Huddersfield away. We had Charlton away. We had an away cup run basically, but it would have been nice for us to be there to cheer on the boys, but it wasn't to be. But we've had a good cup run. It's not something that everyone can say. Chris saying, I agree, Niall. It's a disgrace most lower league EFL clubs won't be able to get fans in. Can I just say Carlisle have one of our lowest budgets in League Two? Our manager came in during last season when we were above relegation zone. A mess now. Take us challenging to playoffs promotion. Big up to the Carlisle manager. And am I hearing a Man City fan talking about no fans at other clubs?
Oh no, that's great. I'm sorry.
It's okay. The Etihad is fuller than the Emirates. But
Oi, get out of it.
I mean,
empty
Old
at the
Trafford
minute.
is just more superior, lads. So don't worry.
What we're getting.
But we will move on quickly before Stephen gets very angry at me. And we're going to finish off quickly the loans before we get into some of the top news, and then we'll call it a day. This one's going to go a bit longer. Big up to the panel here as well. They've been very helpful. You wouldn't believe the two of them actually.
Big up to Niall, the work he's doing.
You wouldn't know the two of them have zero knowledge on Leagues 1 and 2 pretty much, but it's been a great laugh anyway, and we've enjoyed ourselves. Jake Vokin, Sunderland player on loan from Southampton, 61 minutes, 71% pass accuracy, lost the ball 8 times and 3 aerial duels won, so that's not a bad performance from him. Harry Clark, obviously, he's the Arsenal player and on loan at Oldham. 3 clearances, 1 off the line, so he saved your backsides there as well. 3 block shots, 1 interception, 1 tackle. No wonder he was rated 7.1.
Oh, Indiana, just stop, man, please. Indiana's taking the piss.
Okay, Charlie, they're just a bit upset that you're going to win the title this season, so...
Not just the title, mate.
Yeah. Okay. So you win this the Carabao Cup. Don't worry.
You've had the biggest chance like in 7 years, and you've blown it basically.
I mean, let's face it, it was never their chance anyway. But how's 11th or 10th, wherever you are in the league? I don't really let that
I'm loving talking to my wall. Like,
that clip was quality. That clip was quality.
Big up Stephen for talking to his wall when they brought on Willian against
just
Benfica.
as useful as Willian.
Check out the video.
In fact, I'd say the wall is slightly more helpful than Willian. At least it holds stuff up. But Chris Welch saying, big up Niall for doing the show. It's great fun to do this as well. But Harry Clark at Oldham, Charlie, know much about Harry?
He's quite quick as a centre half. Also, he's ball playing defender, so yeah, he can pass it around the back. Also, we got Alfie McCalmont from Leeds. He's quite good holding midfielder.
Yeah, he didn't play this weekend, did he?
No.
That's why he wasn't. That's why I didn't write him down. I was just thinking, have I missed someone? But no, I definitely haven't. I've got like a book of. I've written down all the loans that are in what club they're playing for. I've sort of sected it into League One and all their separate clubs. I'll go through that every Sunday. It is mental. I spend about 2 hours just looking around stats, and that's why sometimes mistakes are made. But RJ, this one is for you.
Yep.
Deshaun Burrand from
Yep.
Salford on loan from someone called Manchester United. I'm not
Never
sure who
heard of
they are.
him. Sounds
No,
I
I
think
small.
don't really.
I know
No.
he's a centre back for sure. He had 90 minutes, made 7 clearances, 1 interception, 4 tackles, 7.7% rating. Obviously, Sofa score. How much they know from League One and Two, I question a lot.
I don't know
So
anything about the Premier League. Never mind League One and Two.
why I don't tend to look at the rating. I just nab the stats that I need and then make an informed judgment myself, knowing that my head isn't some algorithm. But RJ, what's your thoughts on Dishon?
Obviously, yeah, he's a defender, and some of our defenders have not been doing very well. And obviously, if he does well, hopefully we can bring him in and maybe say down the line, maybe 3 years, maybe 2 years. You never know; he might be starting for us. So, but yeah, I mean, anything's better than Maguire and Lindelof at this rate. You know what I mean?
Yes, from what I see, Dishon is not a fridge or a freezer.
No,
Chris saying Carlisle play Oldham on Saturday, but we play Tranmere on at home tomorrow. Which is another 6 point game between two promotion rivals. So Chris and Charlie are against each other this weekend. Should be fantastic. Looking
Um,
forward to that.
our last time we went to Carlisle, Oldham got beat 6-0, but we won't talk about that.
all right, okay, well,
We definitely won't talk about that. I can hardly talk. Argyle did get thrashed by Fleetwood once, but it's something we just don't talk. And Will saying big up now, big up to Will for watching as well. Nearly at the end of the loan watch anyway. As I said, the bit of a longer one this week anyway. It's brilliant to do it. Robbie Cott's on loan at Salford from Leeds. So you got Leeds and United players in together, which I'm sure is causing no rifts at all. But he played 90 minutes with 1 shot off target, 2 dribbles, and 80% pass accuracy. A pretty average one. But this one, he's on loan from Chelsea. So Will, cover your ears. You're probably not going to like this. Jamie Cumming, he's a goalkeeper at Stevenage. Played 90 minutes, made 1 save, and then conceded 1, which was completely his fault. So we will skip past him gracefully and quickly so Will doesn't get upset. But definitely
If I
cover your ears
speak.
when I say that. If I speak, I'm in bug trouble. I've used that a few times in our group chat for the other thing. It's good. For me, it makes a lot of
It's a
sense.
classic. It's a classic meme, isn't it? It just
It is
works.
a classic meme.
It works a lot as well.
That is true. The last one we'll talk about is Luke McCormick, and no, not the goalkeeper from Plymouth Argyle, the Chelsea boy on loan at Bristol Rovers. He played 90 minutes, 66% pass accuracy, 3 crosses, 4 long balls, 2 shots hit the woodwork. I mean, 2 hitting the bar like woodwork is incredible. I'm sure Bristol Rovers will be delighted that they lost their game 2-0. They'll be wishing he could put it in the net instead of the woodwork, but he had a good game. 4 ground duels won, no aerial duels won. He's quite short anyway, I think. But a good game from him. So that's Loan Watch done. There's a few big stories. Now, obviously, I was hoping that Charlie, the Rovers fan, would be able to have come on and spoke about this one, but he can't. But before we get into Bristol Rovers, because there's slightly something brewing now called an eruption, called a volcano. Used to play for Man City. Or was it Man City? No. Did he play for Man City? No,
What's
he
his
played for
name?
No.
QP. No, he played QPR. Oh
Man
my
City win their
God.
first title.
And there's some big news in the championship that we'll also cover. We won't go through a news article, but there's some big news there as well. But the big news I want to talk first is Plymouth Argyle, to be expected. But Adam Randall. Now, Adam's on loan at Torquay United this week. Well, not this week, this season. And he's just
This
signed
week.
he's just signed a new contract. Very good player, up and coming. Will most likely be with us in our team next year. But he signed a new contract until the end of the 21-22 season. So that'll be next year. So he signed a sort of 18-month deal. The
Am
20-year-old
I
has
right?
spent most of, yeah.
Carry on. My
Um,
bad.
the 20-year-old has spent most of his this term on loan at National League leaders Torquay, making a total of 20 starts, 2 substitute appearances. However, there are high hopes for Randall's long-term future with the Pilgrims, not least from manager Ryan Lowe. He told Argyle's official club website, We are delighted to have rewarded Adam with a new deal. He has been superb on loan at Torquay. This season, we felt that that the time was right to finalise the contract, as we have been very pleased with the progress he is making. We are looking forward to seeing Adam continue to perform at Torquay for the rest of the season. He will return to us as a more experienced player ready to push on. Adam Randall, a academy graduate, has made 10 first-team appearances for Argyle, with 5 of them coming in the Papa John's EFL Trophy. They included a 3-2 defeat to Norwich under-21s at the start of the season before he was loaned out to Gary Johnson's Torquay. The midfielder made 4 appearances off the bench in league games last term as the Pilgrims were promoted from League 2. Now there is the prospect of Randall being back in Argyle colours at the start of next season, challenging for the midfield holding role in the first team. He is now the latest young Argyle prospect to sign an extended deal with Pilgrims following Mike Cooper and Luke Jepcott. That was from Chris Errington from the Plymouth Herald. Big up to Chris, all great content on my team.
Am I right? He was
Yes.
at Liverpool.
Well, Adam Randall? I don't believe so. I don't believe
Oh,
he
I
was
think
on
that
loan.
was a different Rand. It might have been Callum Randall.
Yeah, it might have been someone else. But Chris saying, where do you think Plymouth will finish this season? I think we'll finish 8th. I think we'll probably finish outside the playoffs, but not in any danger. I think 8th is pretty fair for us. Yeah, it sounds a bit like you, I think.
No, that's too high for Arsenal.
But I want to talk a little bit relegated. Bit rude, Indiana, bit rude. We're not going relegated. We're nowhere near that. Unless you're on about Arsenal, and then yeah, fair play. But I want to talk a referee. I want to talk referees. I want to talk referees, and I want to talk Darren Drysdale.
Oh, this was
charged by the FA with misconduct for confronting a player. The Football Association is to undertake an extraordinary disciplinary procedure after charging a referee with misconduct. Darren Drysdale has apologised for his behaviour after he locked heads with Ipswich's Alan Judge when the player contested its decision not to award a penalty in the 0-0 draw with Northampton on Tuesday. The 49-year-old official has been charged with the breach of FA Rule E3 with allegations that his behaviour amounted to an improper conduct. He has until the 4th of March to respond. Whatever Drysdale's response, his conduct will have to be considered by a disciplinary commission, and the possibilities for punishment if he is found guilty are limited to match suspensions and fines. It is understood that there are a few, if any, precedents for referees breaking misconduct rules. The incident occurred in the 90th minute after Judge went to ground in the box. The midfielder then walked towards Drysdale, apparently angry with the official. The two men faced up to each other before being separated by players. Drysdale then booked Judge for simulation. He says, I fully understand it was important for us as referees to maintain our composure throughout the game and always engage with players in a professional manner. Drysdale said in a statement, I'm sorry that I did not do that last night. I can only apologise to Alan and Ipswich Town. This came on the day the FA announced new training and support for referees, revealed there have been 77 incidents of physical assaults of officials in grassroots during the 1920 season. The governing body hopes to adjust the rules for next season to mean there would be no upper limit on punishments for assaulting referees. A tariff capped at 10 years. Any player found guilty would have to apply to return to the game after their suspension. The FA Director of Professional Games Relations, Andy Ambler, said nobody in the professional game really understands the demand on referees and called for referee training to be made available for non-officials, available to non-officials, including players in academies. Boys, what's your thoughts on that?
He wasn't just a small guy. He was huge. He was massive. Did
Yeah,
you
yeah.
see
Can I
the
just
video?
also, can I also just ask, is that you're saying about he could be charged and all that. So they actually have a punishment system. Maybe they need to start doing that for when they get decisions wrong as well.
I
Like,
mean,
I mean, we were just
borderline
talking.
assault is
We just did the review, all right, on my
yeah,
channel,
Depends
right?
how
And we were
bad the
talking
decision
about,
is, in my opinion.
I know, no, hang on a minute. It's just we just spoke about it on the review on my channel, and we have
yeah,
said that if we are going to improve our English referees, we have got to have a punishment system. So they they know if they don't do well, they get relegated to the championship.
yeah,
A bit like the relegation system that we have in the
yeah,
leagues.
yeah.
So if you're poor, you get relegated. If you're so they have their own table. So
Yeah, yeah. I think this is slightly different because this one it's almost
yeah, of
like
course. I'm just saying if we should
yeah,
take this on and take it to like when it comes
yeah.
to
But
decisions.
I think what they're talking about is what he's done and that's
Yeah.
bad, gross misconduct, which gets you sacked in most jobs.
Oh
But
yeah.
Charlie, what's your thoughts on Darren Drysdale almost getting into a punch up?
I'm saying if a player did that, he's suspended for 10, 15 games.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if he's banned for life.
Yeah.
Professional game
No. It'd probably be about 18 a month
or a
ban or
season
something.
at least.
Yeah, something like that. Indiana saying madness indeed. The things that happen in the lower leagues, you wouldn't believe. And Chris saying, well said, Stephen, couldn't agree more. This is true. Now we're talking a little bit more about Plymouth because there's been some transfer speculation,
Of
and
course, we're talking about Plymouth again.
of course we are, but there's been transfer speculation with Luke Depcott, and our manager has superbly shut them down brilliantly. Ryan Lowe is described as a load of bull. The latest transfer speculation surrounding Plymouth Argyle's 18-goal top scorer Luke Depcott. It is reported by a national newspaper earlier this week that Stoke City had sent head of recruitment Alan Aldridge to check out Depcott. Wayne Mooney's Derby County managerless Sheffield Wednesday were also mentioned in the same article as being interested in the 21-year-old. Lowe responded to the report calling it lazy journalism and stated there had been no contact from any of those three championship clubs around Depcott. The Pilgrims boss made the point that Rooney knew Neil Jewiship, Argyle's director of football, but formerly head of youth academies at Everton. From his time at Goodison Park, Lowe revealed there had been no phone call from Rooney to Jewiship about Depcott. When asked by Plymouth Live for his response to a latest speculation about Argyle's top scorer, Lowe made some strong comments. He said, I will tell you straight now, there's been no head of recruitment from Stoke at our games. Fact, because they can't get in unless we let them in. He goes on to say, you can only go and watch the next three games who you are playing, so they haven't been at our ground. And then I have got a relationship with someone at Stoke who is a member of the first team staff. I would like to think they would ring me. He never rang me. I would like to think Wayne Mooney would speak to Neil Jewiship if he was interested in Luke Depcott. He hasn't rang him. And I'd like to think that a member of staff from Sheffield Wednesday, and I know Tom O'Neill Thompson, who is the caretaker manager now, would ring me if they were interested. So the answer to your question, it's a load of bull. Whoever it's coming from, Lowe described Depcott as a level-headed kid and does not want him to become distracted by all the transfer talk. He continued, I'm not saying there isn't interest in Luke Depcott, but I think the clever clubs and people who do it properly go about their business right. I know probably two or three clubs who would definitely be interested in him, but they don't have to go and say, we are watching this or we are watching that. It's lazy journalism, if you ask me. Someone is putting his name out there, and rightly so. He is probably one of the hottest young prospects in the country at the moment. So there's definitely going to be interest, but there has been not been any interest from any of those clubs to us, to Argyle. The way I look at this is a kid is enjoying playing his football. I will speak to Luke today, telling him just to let it go over his head. Fortunate enough, I have been in the position he is in now, so I can help him and guide him of the rumours that come with it. Lowe added, the only good thing is it's getting good recognition for the work we are doing and the lads are doing. It's not affecting us, it's not affecting him, but there's certainly no interest. Well, there's certainly been no interest. So my manager being very clear with his words there that there has been no interest with Luke Jepcott. The Stoke haven't sent a head of recruitment. Wayne Mooney hasn't called asking about Luke Jepcott, and Sheffield Wednesday make no contact about Luke. So lazy journalism, why am I not surprised? Now, the last big news story that we are going to be discussing today. Bristol Rovers. And I'm going to get a drink for this because this is going to be interesting. So, Bristol has just erupted into a volcano. Joey Barton has been unveiled as the new Bristol Rovers manager. And Chris has also said Nigel Pearson appointed Bristol City manager. Bristol, I don't know what you've been drinking or smoking, but you're about to have one heck of a ride. Joey Barton. Joey Barton spoke to Bristol Live on Monday afternoon after being confirmed. Joey Barton has vowed to unite Bristol Rovers fans and give them a team to be proud of. After being appointed as manager on Monday, a 38-year-old takes the reins at Rovers, third manager of the season with the club 19th in League One. 2 points clear of the relegation zone, but he says he is excited by the potential he sees in the gas. Barton will be in the dugout for Tuesday's huge relegation battle against Wigan Athletic at the Memorial, with getting the points required to avoid relegation his top priority. But beyond the rest of the season, the former Fleetwood Town boss saw plenty to get excited about, which lured him to the Memorial. I saw the 40,000 that were at Wembley not so long ago for a playoff final. Barton told Bristol Live, there's not been great success. I'm not following Bill Shankly, and it looks like a club that needs its day in the sun. They deserve to have a good team to get behind and support all over the country. I can get really energized by seeing the boys pull on all quarters. I think it's our job to mobilize them. I speak for the players and the coaches. I think it's our job as a team to get that positive energy behind us. I think if we get that, I think the ambition of the club and the owner is incredibly exciting. But before we get off and running, we have to walk first, which is securing League One status and making sure that we're in this division next season and ready to push up the table that we want to be in. As I say, it's our job to galvanize. I really hate ads, right? When you're reading something, I really hate the ads, right? I'm here to give everything I've got, and my staff and the players will be the same. Hopefully those Rovers fans will be prepared to give us the time of day, give us an opportunity to show what we're about and make that judgment. I totally understand it, but I'm confident with our actions that they will be believers before my tenure here is out. My opinion is also Joey Barton has now installed a boxing ring, and there will be fights every single Monday morning. We look forward to seeing what fight Barton gets into next, and I beg it's mine, my manager, because he'll definitely put him on the floor. Got some comments here before we end it. We're looking at the team of the week and the league table.
Can I just ask a question?
Yeah, go for it.
Why does Joey Barton still allowed in football?
I don't know. He's had a couple of managerial jobs. He's actually not a bad manager.
I'm just talking about like his actual behaviour throughout his
career. Oh, Joe, I have no idea. The FA just make up as they go along. I know, but I don't think we really need to talk about why he's still here.
Man City should like literally bow down and salute him because they gave him the 5 minutes they needed to win the title. So.
Well, there is that. We'll go to a few comments before we look at the team of the weeks for both divisions and the league tables. Chris, got to love the dartboard in the background. Yeah, it does look pretty cool. I don't know why people seem to have a problem with me supporting two clubs. Liverpool is a family. Carlisle is where I was born. I can't help who I support. I'm always
Someone's got
loyal
some
to
abuse for
both.
wearing a different shirt.
Oh, that abuse is shocking. I don't personally believe in it. You'll never see me wearing like another top, but I
Yeah.
actually don't. The thing is, it doesn't hurt me what you do, so cool. Indiana, I'm a United fan, but my local club is Bristol City. I'm good with it. And Chris Welch, I get hate for some reason. You should only support one club. You plastic. Yeah, I've been to more games combined for both teams than they have ever. So that's my response.
I mean, my
That's
local
fair.
team is Welling United,
Yeah,
and
that's
I do
not too
like to
bad.
check and see how they're doing. Right? Does that make me a plastic? No, because I was born white outside Woolwich.
Yeah. And then last comment here from Indiana now. Who's the hottest prospect on loan from a Prem club, would you say? I like Keelan Watts. He's a centre back on loan from Newcastle at Argyle. He will do quite well, I think. Deshaun Bernard at Salford on loan from Manchester United looks a very good one. I think Luke McCormick is a bit older, so I'm not too sure about him. Ethan Lard could potentially do quite well, but I'm definitely going to go for Keelan Watts or Deshaun Bernard. Potentially Harry Clark. Harry Clark could potentially be there. I think Harry Clark. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did cover him. I think he'll be quite good, but I would say Keelan Watts, Harry Clark, Deshaun Bernard are probably my favourites that I would say are probably going to do well there. I'll keep ignoring and block them. You do that, mate.
Yeah, go on, Chris. You got my back.
People,
you worry about it.
What people say is shocking sometimes. But a little bit here that I've stolen from somewhere from the EFL's Twitter. So we're going to look at Team of the Week. Now, the first one we're going to look at is Leagues One. So Leagues One Team of the Week is as follows. Mike Cooper in goal, Gooch at right back, O'Neill at centre back with Tucker, James at left back, Samodix, Sermon and Dembele with Marshall, Clark Harris and Akindi, with Darren Ferguson, the manager of the week. And that's hardly surprising when you go and beat AFC Wimbledon 3-0 indeed. Now, the 4-3-3 and a 4-4-2 for League Two, and the goalkeeper is Lawler. Tanner at right back, Tunnicliffe and Santos at centre back with Dunk at left back, O'Sullivan at right mid, Wildig, O'Neill and Woolery in midfield with Mullin and Jamil Matt up top with Mark Bonner there, the manager of the week. And that's what happens when you beat Mansfield Town 3-0. Now, the other thing we'll look at quickly is the table. So we'll start with League One being the higher league. As you can see there, Lincoln currently top of the league with Peterborough second. That's going to be a fight
gaining
all season.
A bit of a gap from the automatic promotion.
Yeah, they're gaining a bit of a gap. It looks like Peterborough and Lincoln are probably going to be fighting it out for the title.
I didn't realise they've got 2 games in hand as well.
And that as well.
If they win their both games in hand, they'll pull away from the whole city.
Yeah, obviously Doncaster could close that gap, but not an awful lot. So it looks like Lincoln and Peterborough are going to be fighting for a League One title. Hull look like they're going to be quite safe in the playoffs, but that can't be too sure about that yet. Doncaster, Pompey, Sunderland, Accrington, Oxford, Charlton, and potentially even Argyle could be fighting for playoffs. I don't think we're going to be in the playoffs, but that is a possibility. And at the bottom of the table, Burton Albion are the league's bottom team with Wigan Athletic.
2 games in hand on everyone around.
They do. That is true. But you have to think how many of them are they going to beat. Wigan and Northampton are fighting for their lives with AFC Wimbledon. But Rochdale, Bristol Rovers and Swindon are also all fighting for their lives and to see if they can stay into League Two next season. And the rest, obviously, as you can see, probably going to be mid-table. Shrewsbury are the cut-offs, in my opinion. They won't get dragged into a relegation battle.
Yeah.
The rest of them will. So that's important from Leagues 1 and Leagues 2 here. As you can see, Cambridge are currently leading the Summit, but Forest Green Rovers, with 3 games in hand, could easily overtake them. So it's going to be a close fight between them two. Cheltenham looking like they're doing quite well. Morecambe, Salford, Tranmere and Newport all occupy the playoffs at the moment, but Exeter are on their tails. They've got a good goal difference to help them there. Carlisle with a lot of game in that, about 3 or 4 games in hand over some in the playoffs, so they could be pushing Cheltenham Town easily out of the top 3. So Tranmere, Carlisle are making great gains there as well. Exeter are always going to be pushing. Bolton, could they even make a push to stay up? And Stevenage, for me, look like they're going to be safe. So the bottom 2 that will be relegated is either going to be Southend, Barrow or Grimsby Town.
Yeah, it's them 3 in a relegation fight, isn't it?
Absolutely, and we'll keep you up to date.
I think the cut-off for the playoffs would probably be
Bolton.
Yeah.
Say Bolton, judging from how League 2 normally operates, Bolton are probably the last team that will stay. Will have a chance there. But either Southend,
the gap between 7th and 17th, it's only 9 points. It's tight in the middle.
I know, but
it's probably too much.
Yeah. It would. There's always that tight gap, but you normally, especially when all the games that
how it's been with the Premier League is very tight.
Yeah, I mean, when all the games are played as well, we'll start to get a better look at it. But at the moment, that's how it stands. And we'll keep you up to date, and we'll see who is going to be relegated from the English Football League by the end of the season. All of that coverage is going to be on this show, so make sure you're tuned in every single week with the updates, and I'll make sure that I get the league table up for you every single week so we can have a look and we can see who's going to go down and celebrate the ones going up. But we'll just get to a few comments before we finish. Chris saying George Tanner up the Cumbrians. Cambridge equals Mullin FC. What a journey Lincoln have had. Weren't long ago
remember
when they
Lincoln
were
going on an FA Cup run, beating Burnley and going to Arsenal.
They've had a great run. What a journey Lincoln have been on. Weren't long ago they were non-league side. Indiana saying Forest Green Rovers on the top. Great day out for Forest Green. Chris saying up the Cumbrians. Alex CFC saying yo. And Barrow finding their level, only one team in Cumbria. That's Carlisle. And that's where we're going to end the show there. Before we go, we'll see where we can find everyone. So, Stephen, where can they find you, bro?
Well, they can find me here on SVD TV. As usual, we do Arsenal watch-alongs, but also football watch-alongs. Got the watch-along with Manchester City on Wednesday. Liver Awareness Show, most important show of the week. Liver Awareness for Children's Liver Disease Foundation every week, 7 on a Tuesday, but whatever time they can fit it in. And yeah, also Big Yellow Friday, 5th of March. 9 to 5 charity fundraiser. We have Lee Judges, Lee Gunner, the David Croft from Sky F1, right? Loads of different shows we're going to bring to you in one stream. So as we raise money for Children's Disease Foundation.
And big up to Stephen for doing that. And make sure you tune in on his channel on Friday.
Put a link in as well.
For all of that, that's perfect. And we may even have a European referee segment on Friday as well. I'm not sure. Stephen is in control.
I think I'll get that. I'll definitely see if I can get that sorted for the Friday morning. Definitely
that will be perfect. And Charlie, bro, where can they find you?
Just on Twitter, MCFC Hibs down below. That's my app. Just follow me on there.
Yeah. And big up to Charlie. And you can follow also RJ, who was on. Big up RJ. You can find him on Twitter at the Robotic
also on YouTube.
Jaguar. Also on YouTube. What is his YouTube? I cannot remember.
Robotic Jaguar.
Robotic Jaguar on YouTube. Also a big up to Charlie, the Rovers fan, who was here for a little bit, then suddenly went again. I'm not sure if he was having some technical difficulties. Big up to him as well. But you can also follow me. My YouTube channel is The Argyle Life. I'm going to be streaming some games on there. Bit of Call of Duty Mobile, a little bit of Football Manager, but also
Subscribe to that.
Also you can find me on Twitter at the @the_PAFC. And if you are a League One or a League Two supporter and you're watching this and you want to get involved, give me a DM and we'll get something sorted. If you want to be on the next show or however you want to do it, give me a shout, or Indiana, who is the owner of this channel. Also make sure that you follow in the First 11 on Twitter. Also smash that like button, subscribe to the channel with notifications on. The next show on the First 11 is the Next Generation tomorrow at, I think, 10 o'clock or around that time. The updates will be there, so big up to the boys on the show. And until next time, cheers.
See you, everyone.
There you go.